What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Endless here for our first game of EDC. Super excited for this league. As you saw in my draft analysis, I'm really pumped to use this team. For those who don't know, EDC is run by my good friend Burning, a longtime mod in my league, and also just someone I've known for many years. I guess that's about it. For week 1, I am going against Frito, who funnily enough, I actually had a double header against on the same day. So even though this game was played first, will be posted first, I actually played my game for UPA against him before this, earlier in the morning, and I would like to thank him in advance for his footage. My capture card decided to go insane mode, so I lost all the footage for both battles. So a huge shout out to Frito for sending me his footage. The battle itself that you'll see will be me post-commenting over his side. With all that said, let's get right into the matchup. So as you can see here, he has a pretty big threats. He has a Suian Samurai, which was one of the 19 pointers. Archaladon, who's always scary. Infernape, who I do think is a much better in this format than standard. Teriso, which is pretty solid to me. My electric resists aren't the best outside Tinglu. And Terratoxtricity is very scary as well, because again, Tinglu gets worn down really fast, so I'm not a rest set, and that could be a huge issue. Harrowing is kind of annoying because it can try and block hazards from Tinglu, but Heavy Slam nukes it anyway, so it should still be fine. In terms of my side, Ozzy looks amazing here. I mean, he really does not have much for it if I trap Archaladon with Gothitelle, which, spoiler, that is Gothitelle's primary target. This game is to trap the Archaladon. So Azumarill with either a Choice Band or a Belly Drum set is really strong. He just does not check it well at all. In our strong threads, Volcro looks really solid here offensively, even though I don't love Quivering Stance matchup. With stuff like Aqua Jet, Hisuian Samurott, and Scarf Rock Slay Infernape, which I think pretty much has to come here, because otherwise he just loses to Volcarona. It looks very strong here offensively with stuff like Overheat and a boot set, maybe some pivoting of U-turn. It's just pretty solid here. Terra Gothitelle obviously is insane, it's the same on. As I mentioned earlier, my primary target to trap this game will be the Archaladon, so it's going to be spec to do that. And finally, the I decided to kind of build this team around was Thunderous, because his electric resistor is not good. He has no ground type. Kilowatt is like his only resist, really, and Brown Gas gets worn down, really. It gets worn down, also takes a ton of damage from Psychic or Dark Pulse, so overall his team looks pretty good. Obviously Susan aren't very scary, so I may need something to check that, but other than that, I really like this matchup. So let's get into the sets. First up, we do have our first pick, Tinglu, and this week I'm rocking a weakness policy lead set. This is generally my planned lead as a whole. Earthquake Throat Chop hit everything really hard. Heavy Slams for the Hattering to just straight up knock it out pretty much, so I can't block my Stealth Rocks. Can't really do much back. If it tries to cook a fairy move, then it's screwed his weakness policy. The spread here is a little interesting, nothing crazy, but the bulk, the physical defense allows me to live a banded Razor Shell from Adamant Samurott from full, and usually always live a Jolly Banded Infernape close combat. It probably has to be Jolly here, but if it's for some reason Adamant, it's a roll in my favor to live that. And then the special defense is just a ton of remaining EVs there to help out against Kilowatt Troll and against Toxtricity especially. Toxtricity could obviously, change into a fighting type. Drain Punch would be annoying, but I'm still doing a really good amount of damage at +2 even once he terras. So Tinglu is just really solid here. It's probably my lead. I can maybe pivot out depending on what he leads, but it seems pretty safe here. Azumo here is banded because he does not switch into it at all. Play Rough is like insanely free quick. His fairy resist is Toxtricity, so have fun with that. That's not switching. That takes like 70 probably from Play Rough. Whereas Aqua Jet's also really good in this game just for avenging stuff. Bodos is primarily here from what I remember it's just like a safe quick in certain things. Helps with our Chaladon, stuff like that. And Knockoff is again super free. It's just super free in this matchup. Like nothing wants to take a bang and Knockoff from Alti. I was heavily considering Belly Drum say in this matchup, which may have been better, I'm not sure. But Belly Drum could have been very strong in the end game, depending on how the game goes. But overall, I think the band was a really good set here. He just doesn't do much into it. The speed, 152, I believe, was for... Actually, I think it was for the Dunsparce with a bit of speed. So just to not get caught by that, pretty much. Then we have a Serena. Serena's a pretty obvious break here. I mean, there's a Hisuian Samurott, and I kind of need removal of this game because spikes are really annoying for especially for my Azumarill and my Gothitelle. So a pretty simple set here. Rocky Helmet, full Fizz Def, checks the Samurai pretty well. Also is an okay switch into Bramblegast if it comes down to it. Pale Blizzard is my stab. I didn't think the Trop Kick was really not necessary here for the attack drop, and I like the consistent damage of Pale Blizzard over Power Whip. I didn't think the burst damage from Power Whip was really that important. Knockoff hits the Bramblegast, which is another spiker that I would, and Spin Blocker, so knocking off that would do a ton of damage. And Spin Synthesis for pretty obvious reasons. Helmet allows me to chip down the Samurai if it's not like protected pads or something, so that's really good. Yeah, pretty basic Teriso set, but it is probably a necessity this game into Samurai specifically. After that, we do have my win con, which is Nasty Plot Thunderous here. Firebolt, Psychic, Focus Blast, Nasty Plot, Speed for Infernate because nothing else I really need a Speed for. It's just pretty solid here. I mean, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast hits this team insanely hard. I was between Psychic or Dark Pulse. I went Psychic for a potential pre-Terra Toxicity. Although maybe Dark Pulse would have been better for a Bramblegast, but I thought Psychic was a little more consistent in this game. Also, it's Kill-A-Watcho a bit harder because if it's not Terra and it has Volt Absorb, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast don't really touch it. There's a few things I can say about Nasty Plot on here. Not a ton, but like probably on Bramblegast, on Dunsparce can't paralyze me. Mesprit's definitely a prime target for it. Even Politoed if it's not like offensive. Hatterene 2 is also something I can ask on. So there's a lot of targets to get the plot off on and just, you know, win the end game. Boots are nice because rocks are relatively easy for him to get up. Yeah, that's about it. Just a pretty basic win con Thunderous set. Now on to the star of the show, as we'll show in the draft analysis. We have Terra fighting Gothitelle this week with Psychic, Terra Blast, Shadow Ball, and Psyshock with an Assault Vest. So the special attack allows me to 2-hit KO Max HP Assault Vest or Chaladon with Terra Blast, which is pretty nice. And then the rest of these are pretty basic. But because I'm Assault Vest, it allows me to be a really good check to Special Infernape, most Hatterenes, Kill-A-Watcho, Cryogonal, especially Toxicity is a big one. This thing, if it's like Assault Vest and it's good special bulk, just takes like virtually nothing from Tox and can do a ton back to it, especially with Psyshock on its lower defense stat. Psychic's pretty free quick. Shadow Ball is going to Hatterene, which is a bit annoying. Very basic Gothitelle set, but it does its job. It traps our Chaladon, kills it, then Azumarill, and the Azumarill goes to town. It's pretty simple, but relatively effective. Finally, we do have Volcarona here. So it's Boots because it's Volcarona. Overheat, the burst damage is huge here. His fire resists are not great. It's like Samurott, which doesn't want to risk a Bug Buzz, and Furry, which doesn't want to risk a Psychic, and Politoed, but I don't think Politoed's great into me. Like, it could come. It definitely could come, but I don't think it's amazing here. And honestly, if it comes, it might be Water Absorb to try and help with Azumarill a bit, predicting a Water move, but I just don't think it's great here. Bug Buzz, Stab, Psychic for Infernate, and I was really considering this last set a couple of things. I was considering Quiver Dance, considering Morning Sun. I don't have U-Turn because I realized he has a couple switches into this, but none of them want to take on Azumarill. So if he goes into like Infernape or Dunsparce or Politoed, I can just click U-Turn as they come in and drop it Azumarill and click Play Rough and something dies. So that's really strong. Maybe Quiver Dance might be a bit better, but potentially. But I do think Scarf, Infernape, and Aquajet Samurai are both like must brings it to me. I think those are non-negotiable. And so both of those kind of mean Volcarona needs a second Quiver Dance for Infernape. It just like it can't take the hit from Samurai that well. Even if I were to run a ton of bulk, then I don't have the offensive output I need. I need the speed. I need speed here because I can't be slower than Samurai or than a Scarf set. It's just like, you know, Razor Shell or Aqua Clary, I just die. So I think this set is probably the best I can do here, as much as I wanted Quiver Dance. Modest is really nice, it just makes my attacks do so much damage to everything. Nothing wants taking a Modest overheat on this team outside the Politoed, and even then, like, if it's taking chip, I can just Bug Buzz at the next turn pretty effectively. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this build. I definitely think the matchup is slightly in my favor, but don't get me wrong, Frito has some giant threats that will not be easy to play around. So I'm definitely going to have to play well to win this, but I think I can do that. I think the build will facilitate me to play well overall and be able to take the win. With that said, let's hop into the battle. As I said earlier, this will be a post-com from Frito's perspective because my capture card screwed up. So I'll see you there. Okay, everyone, and here we are with the battle. So we see on lead he brought Kill-A-Watcho, which he did reveal as Terra Ground. He obviously knows my Gothitelle's Terra Fighting. Infernape, Archaladon, Hisuian Samurott, Mesprit, and Bramblegast. So pretty much what I expected. No Hatterene was a bit surprising. I thought I had a really strong matchup into me. But other than that, like, pretty much what I expected. Yeah, so I do know that Kill-A-Watcho is Terra Ground here. I will say during the game I kind of blanked, and for some reason thought it was Terra water throughout the game. So that definitely screws me up a bit later, but that's entirely my fault, so that's on me. I think I will actually do the speed at 1.5 times here, just so that we can, just to make it so that you're not here, so that we can have the game go a bit faster. I can just talk over it instead of waiting while he's thinking. I really need to change my trader card. I don't know how to do it. I need to ask someone because it's so boring. I'm just the basic one. So I actually did end up winning with a Azumarill. I don't remember why. The plan was always Ting Lu, and for some reason I didn't stick with that. I think in May I was expecting a Samurott lead, so I but even then I was going to Samurott anyway. So this was definitely a really bad start to my end, was leading with the Yasu. Yeah, I'm obviously going to be forced out here and into Ting Lu. He just clicked the freest U-turn of his life, where there's no reason for him not to. I bring in Ting Lu here, he does a bit of chip damage and procs the weakness policy. So that's obviously very good for me. So now +2, but he can just go in something to try and force this out. I mean, he doesn't know my spread, so he doesn't know if he can OHKO me with anything. He just goes straight into this Suian Samurott here. And then I believe for some reason here I do switch, despite having a weak policy, which was a very stupid play. I should have just stayed in and got off the Earthquake, got off as much dangerous thing as I could. Especially I don't have a great switch into this. I guess Serena or Zero, but I definitely should have just stayed in. I had no reason not to. Like, I had my policy. Yes, it would have taken me like 60 from Aqua Cutter, but I wouldn't know so much. I still could have checked other things later potentially. But he does hit my Ariana, my Serena, and because he didn't take Rocky Helmet, I now know he's protected pads. Because Serena is like obviously only Rocky Helmet. I believe this damage told me that he was adamant. He just goes into Arch here because it takes pretty much a hit, like a fighting move or whatever, would not do much to it. I do just knock it off. So get rid of that Assault Vest is really big for Gothitelle to be able to potentially knock it out later. So I believe I just hard switch the Gothitelle here because it's relatively safe to do so. Yeah, I just hard switch the Gothitelle because this thing can't touch me. I'm Assault Vest. Like, Draco Meteor even is going to bounce off. I believe it actually misses, but even so, like, I was Assault Vest. It would have made like 30. It would not have done enough to really matter. He is going to click Mirror Coat, which makes sense. I mean, why not? I guess he could Dragon Tail, but Mirror Coat's probably his best play. So I do Terra here, I click Terra Blast, and from this amount of health, I believe it was a roll in his favor, but I actually kind of want to calc that, so let me pause this really quickly. It was in his favor, it was about 37% chance to KO here. So unfortunately, as we will see, I do not get the roll, and I just died in Mirror Coat. If I got the roll, I'd still have a healthy Gothitelle, which would be really useful for the late game, for stuff like Kilowattrel potentially. Obviously, Kilowattrel is a flying type, I'm Terra Fighting, but if it's locked into another move, we don't know its specs yet, but we will learn later based on damage that is specs. So I do just go for a Terra Blast. He does live on 5. It's unfortunate, but again, like, that was a mid roll. I got a mid roll anyway, so it wasn't in my favor. And Miracle just knocked me out. Yeah, let's go Volcarona. It might not have been U-turn. No, he's at 5 HP. I'm pretty sure U-turn, but I might not have realized how low he was, so I might have just killed it with an arrow move. Because obviously I don't know his exact amount of HP here. Yeah. Definitely should have U-turned out to something else. Maybe Ting Lu, because like nothing, again, still nothing can OHKO it from that range pretty well. Because I know how the Samurai isn't banded, but he'll go in and he just gets off a free Hurricane here because I forced out. I believe I go Ting Lu here. Actually, no, if I remember, I believe this is the turn where I thought it was Terra Water, so I was like, well, we can just Terra Water, Terra Blast, and KO into a KO Ting Lu anyway. So I'm pretty sure I just stay in here and sack the Volcarona. But he does end up missing, which is really good for me. I click Bug Buzz, yeah. So because again, I thought it was Terra Water, not Terra Ground. So if I realized if I remember it was Terra Ground, I could have just clicked the Overheat and done and KO'd this thing. But that's entirely my misplay. And so in comes Ting Lu. I take the Hurricane decently well. I mean, it's specs, but like I'm still a Ting Lu. He is going to go out here as I quickly move, but you do notice I get confused there, which is not ideal, obviously. So he missed a Hurricane, I took one, I got confused. It's been a pretty hacksy game so far. So I go hard, and he goes hard and Samurott here, as I attempt to click Stealth Rock, because obviously this Kilowattrel is a huge issue, so I want to get my rocks up here. Unfortunately, I do hit myself, which is not ideal. There's a little bit of chip, not a ton, but that damage does put me in range of Aquacar, I believe, so I am forced out. No, never mind. That kill, I would roll to kill me even if I didn't take the chip there, so never mind. So I can go into Azumarill. Unfortunately, it knocks knockoff and knocks on my choice band, which is pretty bad because it means I don't OHKO everything in the end game anymore, which is not ideal. We'll see later that that choice band does end up causing a big problem later. So he's just going to go into Mesprit with the flip turn on my Azumarill. Unfortunately, without my choice band anymore, I don't do that much damage to it. It proves to be physically defensive. So yeah, player up does about like 35 to 40. Because without my band, it's not doing enough damage. So I go hard into Volcarona as he U-turns out. He does a bit of chip to me. Not a ton. I believe this did reveal that he was like no attack, not like minus nature, which could come up. He's just going to drop in the Kilowattrel here because why not? And once again, still thinking he's Terra Water, I'm just going to Bug Buzz here instead of clicking Overheat because I don't know. I was just thinking he was Terra Water for some reason. So he'll miss another Hurricane, which is very funny as I get off another Bug Buzz again, thinking he's Terra Water. So I definitely should have clicked the Fire move, but I was just not in my right mind, I guess. Don't know where I went out to here. Oh, I went out to Thunderous here, which... And that was a very bad play. Letting this thing take like 50 was really bad on my end. Playing in range of other things later meant it couldn't really clean. And I am kind of forced back out because again, I didn't realize I would be doing that much. I don't know why. I calculated, I was like, oh yeah, that's like 50, I'll be fine, but clearly I'm not. So he goes out to Brambleghast here, and I just click Psychic, I believe. Is it Psychic? Yeah. It does a little under half, so I am forced out because I know that I died to Poltergeist and Psychic does not kill unless I get like a higher roll. So I go into Volcarona. He actually clicks Poltergeist, and he does crit me on switching. I did always live this hit for the record. I always lived that hit on like, I think at minimum like 3 HP, but the crit does knock me out on switching, which makes my life really hard. Because of course, if I still in Volcarona, I could have just clicked Overheat and done a ton of damage or something. So I bring in a Serena, it's the only real switch into this thing at this point now that Volcarona got crit. And I just click Strength Sap because like, why not? Might as well. So he's gonna do that. And I'm going to knock off because I don't have another play into this thing right now. And that is going to be really annoying. So I'll get him back up to full, unfortunately. And I will knock, oh, actually, no, I synthesis here, right? To stay out of range of being TK'd by 2 Poltergeists, that's right. Fortunately, I think actually if I had knocked, that would be in a really strong position because I could have 2 KO potentially, but fortunately, it's not meant to be. Poltergeist does a ton, does like 40. I knock, does over half, and gets rid of the boots, but obviously he can just Strength Sap it back off. I may could have switched out here into something to do damage after a Strength Sap, but I don't think that was a great play, unfortunately. Especially with Volcarona dead. But it's just Poltergeist again. And I do not. And I actually Simp here. So I guess, again, I should have just knocked here because if I knocked, he died. But I wanted to stay out of range of Samurott, which, again, probably not matter in hindsight because I had a whole Azumarill, but it is what it is. So I should have just knocked here, killed it, and then I would have been. Even though I would have been in range of Samurott, I could have just gone to Azumarill, but Azumarill would have been super free, and I could have simped up later on like Mesprit or something. So he's going to continue clicking Poltergeist. I'll dodge that one. And we'll knock, so get some chip. But again, the Strength Sap's just a problem now. Poltergeist again. And yeah, I'm just going to knock, continue chipping it. He's going to click Strength Sap again, which is really annoying. And he's out. Actually, I don't have Poltergeist here. He's down to 3 Poltergeists, as you'll see. So that's really big. Yeah, just gonna hit me with my helmet again. And this one does get me real well. I do Synth on this turn, so I've been regretting not preserving Serena over just taking my kill. I should have just taken my kill here because I did have other things I could heal up on later. So this is just a bad play. This is a very bad sequence for me. He gets back up almost full because Serena's just such high attack stat. I have to Synth again because again, need to be average of 2 Poltergeists, but he's now 2 Poltergeists left actually, so he can never kill me without crit here, which is good. So he force again, I take some chip and I knock it off. So I'm gonna get some chip, and then he's gonna put his last Poltergeist here. But as we will see, he is going to crit me and knock out my Serena, which is really bad because now obviously this Bro has a huge problem. I would be able to simp it off. It would have been pretty much useless to only have Power Whip. He would have been forced out. I would gotta knock off another item on something, which just does force in my Thunderous. And I haven't actually seen all 4 moves. I've only seen Poltergeist and Strength Sap, so I don't know what it has. But here I am just gonna click Psychic because I won't have another play. So I can get off some good damage, but he's gonna live. He's gonna power up and do a ton of damage. I live on a tiny sliver, but again, expecting him to have like priority on Infernape or Samurott, I don't know how much I can do. He'll just go into Mesprit here. I Thunderbolt because I'm pretty sure I Thunderbolt here, right? Should I Thunderbolt here? Yeah, because like if you only kill Watcher, I guess it's just a god play, sure. You get the Para here. He gets on his Citrus Berry. The Para's nice, I guess, for a chance of not moving, but and odds are outspeeding him. I don't think it's that big a deal. He's just gonna U-turn as I Thunderbolt again. So I have Thunderbolt, but he can knock me out with U-turn after because I'm so low. Yep. It does preserve the Mesprit. I believe I only have Azumarill and Tinglu left, and Tinglu is obviously in range of power up, so I have to go into Azu here. That's quick Aqua Jet. I don't have another play, obviously, because if he power ups, I just die. So he is just gonna stay in and let this thing die. He's gonna Strength Stab, which is probably the best play, but Aqua Jet does KO, thankfully. And he's gonna go into Samurai here to try and get some chip on me, which is fair enough. So he's just going to click a move as I play rough. He's just gonna sack it. I believe he does quick Aqua Card because it's his best damage output here. Yeah, he's just gonna cutter, does a ton of damage, and I just play rough, knock it out. But it's a bit too late here. He's gonna go into Verb now, and because my band got knocked off earlier, he's out of range of Aqua Jet. If I still had my band, I would have just cleaned the game here with I would have just cleaned the game. Could have just sacked Tinglu and then gone into Azumarill and quick Aqua Jet 3 times. Unfortunately, I'm not. And he does kill with an overheat boosted Blaze. The White Herb's cool, doesn't really matter, but because he lives that Aqua Jet, he always lived that from that range because of my lack of band. Now I just go into Tinglu, but he just finishes off with close combat. So unfortunately, that is going to be the end of the game. We do take a 3-0 loss week 1. I was really happy with my prep, but I'm really disappointed in my play. I played this game super poorly. I mean, if you look here, Tinglu didn't even get to click a single attack. I got to once, but I got confused. But even so, like, I just did not play this game well at all. Tinglu didn't get to click a single attack, which obviously is really bad. It's a weakest policy set. Overall, I just didn't play this game very well at all. So unfortunately, we do take a loss week 1. Week 2, we are playing Ellie, who's obviously a very strong player, but I'm hoping I can bounce back in that game. I do think my team is still really good. I just need to build well like I did this week. I need to actually play well like I didn't do this week. So hopefully I will go better. As always, make sure to check out all the EDC coaches in the description. They're all awesome people. Check out the EDC Discord. It's a great place, especially if you're looking for Showdown Leagues to join. If you're looking to just hop on the draft but you don't have a Nintendo Switch or anything, it's a great place to start out. And there's also a fan doc down there if you want to keep up with it. So thank you everyone for watching, and have a good night.